Hello and welcome back to another one of my FPL videos. I of course am the FPL train, and in this video I am going to reveal my team selection ahead of game week 28. Now I do have two free transfers for this game week, right? One of them I'm pretty confident about using. It's been between two players. There's one slightly now I've just decided to go ahead today. And also, I will be revealing to you all whether or not I will be free hitting in Game Week 29, because I have decided now what I'm going to do with Game Week 29. But before all of that, of course, we always look back on the previous Game Week, which was, of course, Game Week 27. And as you can see, I scored 81 points last week, which I've got to say, I've got to be happy with. Went up 5k, so I'm now in the top 60k in the wheel. Really happy with that. And well, let's go through then. So as you can see, goalkeeper wise. Now, if anybody watches my videos, you'd have seen that I said I'm changed my mind. I'm going to have Dubravka in goal for this game week instead of Areola. Well, I completely changed my mind at the last second. Right at the end, I went, you know what? I bottled it. I couldn't go with double Newcastle defence. So I changed my mind and I decided to have Areola at the back. And I'm telling you now, I am incredibly lucky, not going to lie. One, because, Newcastle destroyed Wolves. They won 3-0, of course, which meant Dubravka got his clean sheet, got 7 points in total, which made me think, oh no. Now, with the West Ham game, they did concede, obviously. It was 3-1 in the end, but Areola saved a penalty, which I could not believe my luck. He saved a penalty, got a save point, got bonus points, ended up with 13 points overall. He absolutely killed it. I'm incredibly lucky to get that one, because obviously I was set on going for the Dubravka and obviously changed my mind right at the end. So extremely fortunate with that decision, and yeah, I'm definitely going to take that. So yeah, really happy with that. With my defence, wasn't the best really. Kieran Trippier, if only he lasted 5 more minutes. So for those who don't know, he went off injured in the 55th minute against Wolves. I couldn't believe it. Just stay on for 5 minutes, get the clean sheet locked in and go. But no, he couldn't handle it. He went off. Looks like he could be out next week, maybe. Obviously, not 100% certain yet. I have to wait for Eddie Howe to decide. Well, to tell us more. But yeah, Kieran Trippier went off injured, so he only came away with 1 point, where he could have lasted 5 more minutes and gave me 6, which is a shame. Now, Udogie only got me 2 points. Now, I've got to say, I'm disappointed. It was a good goal, though, from Eze for Crystal Palace, so I can't be too frustrated, to be fair. But yeah, it would have been nice for another clean sheet there, but, well, a clean sheet there, should I say. But yeah, unfortunately, Udogie only got 2 points, but the positive is, of course, he did play, which is also good ahead of the next game week coming up. So yeah, 2 points for Udogie, just have to take that. And then Gabriel, did he even play against Sheffield United? God knows, because Sheffield United were that bad, honestly. I feel for Sheffield United fans, because obviously they sold their 2 best players at the start of the season, so I guess they knew they were going down, but it's got to hurt to get beat 6-0 after being beat 5-0 and 5-0 in the previous home games. But, I'll definitely take the 6 points then for Gabriel. It would have been nice if you got a goal contribution in those 6 goals, but I'll take the 6 points anyway. With the rest of the defenders then, Estupiñán did start for Brighton, but conceded 3 goals, got a yellow card, ended up with nothing. So he's definitely somebody I'd like to get rid of, but at the minute he's stuck on my bench. Charlie Taylor, who plays for Burnley, doesn't he? They're just awful. Awful. Lost 2-0 at home to Bournemouth. Look, I think Vincent Kompany's getting away with it because his name. Honestly, I think if it was a lesser-known manager, I think he would have been sacked. But, he's still in the job and he's still not doing exactly great things at Burnley. So, yeah, only the 1 point for Charlie Taylor. Midfield, let's just jump straight to my bench. So, obviously, Douglas Luiz got me 4 points on the bench, so I lost out there. He got, obviously, the assist in one of the goals for Aston Villa in that game against Luton, which was a cracking game, to be fair, 3-2. But yeah, he got 4 points that I missed out on, which is a shame, because obviously I decided to start Luis Diaz. Now, I can't be frustrated, really, because, he got me 3 points, so it was only 1 point less, but he played 90 minutes, obviously. He plays in an attacking side for Liverpool, which just score goals left, right, centre. They just couldn't get through Forest. Obviously, they scored right at the end, but he had nothing to do with the goal in the end. But yeah, frustrating, but it is tough ground to go to at Forest. So, I can't be too frustrated with it. was disappointing, and particularly now because next game week is going to be a tough one for him. But at least his minutes are secure at the minute because obviously of all the injuries that Liverpool have right now. Phil Foden, I mean, he absolutely crushed it, didn't he, against United. Scored 2 goals, absolutely smashed it. 15 points overall. It's just a shame that he wasn't my captain, really. So, yeah, he absolutely destroyed it. He played really well against United, which, you kind of expect. United, aren't exactly the best defensively, and they did really just let Man City walk all over them. But, yeah, 15 points for Foden. 7 points as well for Saka. Again, I mean, he went off at half-time as well, and he still got 7 points. Obviously, he got 2 assists in that game. No goals, but, yeah, it was a shame that he didn't last longer, but, I kind of get it, You're absolutely battering a team. You may as well take your best player off and rest him because you've got, big games coming up. So, yeah, 7 points for Saka and 7 points as well for Son, which I've got to be happy with that one because, honestly, it looked like Son was going to blank. Then, about the 88th minute, he did get a goal, which I was very thankful for, obviously, because, not a lot of people so far. I mean, he is highly owned, I guess, but most people haven't got Son yet. They're more looking in the next week or so to get Son. So, yeah, to get that goal now, I was really happy with. And that leads me then on to my strikers. So, obviously, Ollie Watkins, he absolutely crushed it yet again. I mean, what a striker he's been this season. To get 2 goals against Luton, away from home, absolutely killed it there. Great performance from him. Erling Haaland, I mean, he only got, 1 goal in that game. But, the chances he had, obviously, he missed that sitter, didn't he, against United. So he could have had 2 goals and absolutely crushed it. Wasn't the case, but, yeah, just get 12 points from him. So I can't be too disappointed, So, yeah, 12 from him. And then that just leaves me with, obviously, Solanke. The positive is, obviously, because he did blank. The positive is he played. That is got to be the positive because beforehand they were saying he had a slight knee injury. It's why he didn't play in the FA Cup game. So we're all thinking, is he going to play against Burnley? He did play. He played majority of that game. Came off right towards the end. So for that, I've got to be really grateful for because it looks like he could be fit then for the double game week coming up. So yeah, 81 points, green arrow, happy with that. So then let me show you what my team is looking like then for game week 28. And as you can see, starting us off is of course the goalkeepers. Pretty straightforward this one really. I've got to go for Areola. He's got Burnley at home. Burnley aren't exactly they're one of the worst teams in the league. Chelsea aren't exactly amazing themselves, but, they can score goals. They've got obviously the likes of Cole Palmer in their team who can score goals. So I'm going to leave Dubravka on the bench, and Areola will 100% definitely be my goalkeeper. This one, I'm 100% confident about this week, because obviously the fixture is just too good for Areola. So with the defenders then, it's a back 3 yet again, but this time you'll notice there's been a change. So we'll talk about obviously Udogie first. So obviously Aston Villa, that's a tough game to go to at Villa Park. I'm not expecting too much there, if I'm being honest. Gabriel's got Brentford at home. Now, that is a tough fixture as well. In my opinion, despite how bad, should I say, Brentford have been, I still think, Tony can nick a goal there. So I'm not actually confident with him either. But the main guy in the middle there, as you can see, is Doherty. So if you look at my bench, I've got Estupiñán on there, who's got Forest at home, and Charlie Taylor, who's West Ham away. So that will mean that I have decided, I haven't actually officially made this transfer yet. This is the one I'm going to be looking at doing first and foremost, and that is taking out Kieran Trippier, who obviously he did go off injured in that last game, and replace him with Doherty. Now the reason why I want to get rid of Trippier is, realistically, he's 6.7 million, so he's really expensive, and by doing that, that's freed me up space now, so I can get in a striker that I want for game week 29, possibly, and also a midfielder that I want. So it just made sense to downgrade him. Ideally, I wanted to get rid of Estupiñán, but by getting rid of him, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. So I'm bringing in, and I'm 89% certain, I've just made that number up, but I'm pretty certain anyway that I'm going to have Doherty in my team. Now, he's got obviously the double game week, Crystal Palace away and Bournemouth away. Now, not exactly ideal, the fact that they're both away from home. And honestly, I'm not going to lie, I'm not actually confident he'll get a single clean sheet either. The fact is, though, he's got a double game week this week, so even if he doesn't get a clean sheet, he can get you 4 points. And then, of course, in game week 29, he will also have a fixture as well, so that is also something to consider as well. Another player I was thinking about instead of Doherty, who is actually even cheaper than him, because obviously Doherty's now 4.7 mil, is 4.4 million defender in Reguilon at Brentford. Now, I've just sided with Doherty just because of the fact that obviously Brentford, they ain't got an easy fixture this week. They've got Arsenal, and then obviously they've got a game in game week 29, which is, of course, let me just double check who it is. Brentford have Burnley away, which is obviously a nice fixture, to be fair. But yeah, the fact that Doherty has the extra fixture, I've just leaning towards him. Onto my midfielders then, and I'm going for the same four-man midfield that I did the previous game week at this moment in time. Now, I'm going to say Phil Foden against Liverpool away, tough fixture, but I'm locking him in. Saka's got Brentford at home, not the easiest fixture, but Arsenal in such hot form, he's going to be locked in. Son's got Aston Villa away, again, that's a tough fixture, but I'm going to lock him in as well. So those three midfielders are definitely going to be starting for me. The fourth one, I'm undecided because, one, I've got Douglas Luiz first on my bench, who's got Spurs at home. Now, the reason why I'm thinking about bringing him in is because obviously he scored 9 goals this season. All 9 goals have been at Villa Park, so he's deadly at Villa Park, and the fact that he's playing at home makes me lean to possibly bringing him in. Now, currently, I do have Luis Diaz starting for me, who's got Man City at home, which obviously is no easy fixture at all. But, you know, his minutes are good at the minute because Liverpool's injury, so there's a good chance he could play 90. But it's a tough fixture. It's the toughest fixture he can have. So that's also a problem for me. But like I said, his minutes are going to be good, so there's a good chance he could possibly do something. So I could swap those two around, or, because I've got 2 free transfers, I could switch, take, obviously, Luis Diaz out, and bring in a midfielder. Now, the midfielder I want to bring in is James Maddison, but I'm not sure I want to bring him in yet this game week, just because he's got Aston Villa away. It's a tough fixture, so I'm not really sure it's worth bringing him yet, and maybe wait another game week and decide then, because he might get an injury this game week. So yeah, I'm very undecided so far on this decision with my fourth man midfielder. Currently, I've got Luis Diaz down, but I'm probably going to start Douglas Luiz. Oh, I'm not sure. It's a really tough one. It's between those two, because like I said though, I do have a free transfer. I could decide to transfer Luis Diaz out, but I'm not so sure there's a player out there that I want for this game week that will be worth it. So for now, this is the four-man midfield, but that could definitely change by obviously the deadline. And finally then, that leads me on to my strikers now. Ollie Watkins got Spurs at home. To be honest, I mean, I'm not confident he's going to score. He's not really done it against the top teams so far this season. I mean, to be fair, he has actually scored against Spurs. He scored in the previous fixture, but even if he doesn't score, I'm not bothered. And it's the same with Erling Haaland. I'm not bothered if he scores or not. These two, all they do is make my, obviously, score look better than it is. Because rank-wise, if they blank, nothing really happens. If they score, nothing really happens, because they're so highly owned. So yeah, I've got those two up top, and also I've got Solanke, of course, who is also now highly owned, may I add. But the fact is, he's got a double game week. Sheffield United at home, Luton at home. That's probably the best double game week you can get. So 100% he's going to be my captain for this game week. I mean, he might not score in both the games, but he's got a bloody good chance, put it that way. So yeah, for sure he's going to be starting. So that does mean this is going to be my team from the looks of it for game week 28. So notables are the fact that I've only got 2 double game weeks players for this game week. I still have that extra free transfer I could make, but who am I going to bring in? I've looked at it. I mean, the only player I wanted originally from Bournemouth was Senesi. He's injured, so no point going for him. I could go for Neto, but what's the point? He's got a double game week, yeah, but then he blanks in 29, whereas Areola plays in both, so there's no point there. Barkley, I mean, he's somebody to go for, but because he's got the double and he's got a game week in 29, but his stats aren't that great, to be honest. He scored, 3 goals this season? Got like 1 or 2 assists. It's not exactly the most amazing thing in the world, so it's not worth going for, in my opinion. So I'm going to leave that out. So I'm not going to get him in either. So that's why I'm not going for those players. And that, of course, leads me then onto what I'm doing for game week 29. And it's probably been a bit obvious as I've been talking throughout this video, but with game week 29, I am not going to be free hitting. I have made that decision. I'm going to stick with the team that I've got. So I'll be no longer, well, I've decided I'm not free hitting. And the reason is, I've got Areola in goal. I've got Udogie. If I bring Doherty in, I've got him as well. And then that leaves me with Charlie Taylor. So I've got a defence. And then my midfielders, currently I've got Son and just Douglas Luiz. So I've got 2 midfield. And then I've currently just got, obviously, Ollie Watkins up front. But like I said, I've got, obviously, a transfer this week. But my plan is to hold off, leave that to the following game week 29. And with my 2 free transfers, I want to bring in, and this is the reason as well why I've got rid of Trippier for the money. I'm going to take out Slanky and bring in Ivan Toney. And I'm also going to take out Luis Diaz. And I'm going to be bringing in James Maddison. That is my plan. And that will then, in total, leave me with 9 players for this game week in game week 29. And for me, I think that's more than enough. Plus the fact that I've got pretty much majority of all the, well, 95% I'd say of the players I would want that I think would score points in game week 29. The only player that I'm missing out on, I think, is Jared Bowen, if I'm being honest. But the only way I can bring him in is 1, for a hit, and 2, I'd either have to replace him with Phil Foden, Saka. Yeah, Phil Foden or Saka. That is, I was going to say somebody else then, but there isn't, is there? It's Phil Foden or Saka. No, I'm not going to do that just for this game week, or that game week, should I say. So it's not worth it for me. I'm just going to stick with 9 players for game week 29, and I think that should be enough. I might get a red arrow, I might not. Obviously, the red arrow is probably more likely because everybody would have 11 players. So straight away, I'll miss out on 4 points, that's for sure. But yeah, either way, I'm pretty confident that's what I'm going to do. So there will be no free hitting in 29. I will be sticking with the team that I've got. So yeah, let me know what you think of this team. Let me know what you think about me not obviously free hitting in game week 29. Let me know what you think I should be doing in terms of any other transfers that I'm not mentioned. Let me know what transfers you're doing as well. Please do, please don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.